We are live. Thank you, Connor. Good morning. This is a convening of the Massachusetts Gaming Commission. It's approximately 10:06 a.m. on October 23rd, 2025. I'm a few minutes late. It's meeting number 570. I'm Jordan Maynard. I'm serving as chair. We're hosting this meeting virtually, so we will do a roll call. Good morning, Commissioner O'Brien.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning, Commissioner Hill.
Good morning, I'm here.
Good morning, Commissioner Broder.
Good morning, I am here as well.
And Commissioner Skinner is unavailable today. All right, we're going to start with Secretary Broder with some minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're going to take up the minutes in two sets. We have four sets total to consider, so there'll be two motions. And Mr. Chairman, I move that the commission approve the minutes for the following two public meetings, April 30th, 2024 and June 6th, 2024, both of which are included in the agenda packet for today's meeting, and of course, subject to any necessary corrections for typographical errors or other non-material matters.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien. Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Abstain?
And I vote yes, 3 and 1 abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and my fellow commissioners. I now move that the commission approve the minutes from the two following public meetings, September 25th, 2025 and September 30th, 2025, that are included in the agenda packet for today's meeting, subject to any necessary corrections for typographical errors or other non-material matters.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0. Thank you, Secretary. Thank you, Judy, and all the legal team who helped put these together. We appreciate it. Anything else, Secretary?
I am all set, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right, we're going to turn it over to Executive Director Dean Serpa. I believe we have a couple of updates. Good morning, Dean.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, and good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. Yep, we do have one update this morning. But first, I wanted to thank everyone and update the Commission regarding the participation in our annual staff event last Wednesday, which was the Breast Cancer Bake-Off. It was a very successful event, as usual. As you know, it's the annual event we do meant to drive awareness for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. And as usual, our staff showed great enthusiasm for the topic. With my count, it was about 15 separate entries. And of course, through their participation, everyone managed to consume all of said entries by the end of the day. So it was a lot of fun. The winning entry this year was a homemade tiramisu. Annie made it her first day back in the office, so it was good to see her. But really, I just want to extend a thank you to everybody on the Human Resources team for organizing the fun event and providing the breast cancer awareness information for everybody to take a look at and participate in. So aside from that, for our second update, I wanted to provide the Commission with an update on the recently awarded contract to carry out social and economic research, which, as you probably remember, was included as part of the FY26 research agenda. So that contract was finalized last week, and we're ready to move forward. And so for an update on the project, I will turn it over to Research and Responsible Gaming Director Mark Vanderlinden, and we can answer any questions you might have.
Great.
Mark?
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Maynard. Good morning, Commissioners. Yeah, I just wanted to provide an update now that we have a finalized contract. As of October 9th, the Commission entered into a multi-year, multi-study contract with the Boston University School of Public Health. Just as a reminder, we have 3 planned economic studies, including a surveillance of economic outcomes related to casino and sports wagering, an assessment of casino-related impacts on county and municipal level expenditures and revenue, and finally, an examination of the association between sports wagering and financial and social well-being. We also have 3 social research projects that we'll be initially engaged in, including a statewide representative survey to assess gambling attitudes and behaviors and how they will change over time. A large-scale survey of Massachusetts college and university students, and a study measuring gambling advertising exposure and assess its effects on problem gambling behavior. The talent pool of researchers that we've engaged runs quite deep. First off, the principal investigator is Dr. Christopher Lewis. He is a clinical professor and chair ad interim at the Department of Health Law, Policy and Management at the Boston University School of Public Health. Project management will be led by Aaron Holman and Sean Lund, both of the Health Co-Lab. The Health Co-Lab is a service-disabled veteran-owned business enterprise. Social research includes Doctors Timothy Callahan, Matthew Moda, and Sarah Lipton. Dr. Lipton is actually in charge of will help lead the Healthy Mind Survey, which is the assessment of college and university students. So we're really fortunate to have her on the project as well. We have, on the economic side, we have Doctors Justin White and Paul Schaefer. They are both health economists. And dipping outside of Boston University for the expert advisory panel, there's a handful of really notable, talented individuals, including Dr. Mark Potenza. You may have heard of Dr. Potenza. He's been in this field for a long time. He's with the Yale School of Medicine and directs the Division on Addictions and the Center of Excellence for Gambling Research. Dr. Debbie LaPlante, also a well-known researcher in this area. She's the director of the Division on Addiction at the Cambridge Health Alliance and an associate professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School. Coming from the College of Holy Cross, the Department of Economics and Accounting, is Dr. Victor Matheson. And finally, not associated with the university, but of course we all know Marlene Warner, who's the CEO of the Massachusetts Council on Gaming and Health. So this project is now officially underway. There's a lot of work to just get the train moving down the track on all 6 of these specific projects, but we look forward to seeing the outcome of this research. Thank you.
Thank you, Director van der Linden. Thank you to Commissioner O'Brien, Commissioner Hill, who I know served in, a lot on that decision.
Absolutely.
And we appreciate our new partners. Any questions, commissioners? Are you still at the conference, Mark?
I am. Yep. Leaving this afternoon.
Well, I know you guys are learning a lot up there, so appreciate you being there. All right. Anything else, ED Serpa?
That's it for today, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you, Director van der Linden. Thank you, team. All right. We're going to stick with you, actually, Mark. I think you're going to kick off our item number 4.
Actually, you won't stick with me. I'm gonna just pass it right over to Long Dan.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioner. I'm actually happy today to have GameSense first quarterly report for the fiscal year 2026. So I do have the council, the Mass Council from Gaming and Health here to kick it off. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael Tuplin, the COO. Michael?
Thank you, Long, and good to see you, Chair and Commissioners as well. Happy October. Let me just get my screen share up and I can start the presentation. All right. Oops. You guys are sneaking over there a bit. And my notes. Perfect. All right, well, thank you so much. So as Long said, this is fiscal year 2026 already, end of Q1. I personally can't believe it. It's October 23rd, 2025. We are the Mass Council on Gaming and Health, representing GameSense for each of our areas there. So our agenda today for the presentation, you'll see a quick look at the staff I brought with me to help present our information here. We'll have a quick slide on our funders and present contracts, Q1 data highlights, GSA training program, our RGEM highlights. As we know, we just wrapped that up in September. It's always a fantastic month. We have our selected Magic Moments and Champions Awards that went out with the quarterly newsletters for the first quarter. And we have a slide on the recovery month, which also happens in September. A very busy month in September. And then a quick look ahead at the second quarter of FY26, which we know we're already currently in and working through. So really briefly, our presenting staff, as Long mentioned, my name is Michael Tupple. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at the Council. I also have with me Amy, our Director of Player Health, Ray, our Director of GameSense Operations, and Jody, our Director of Recovery Services, who I'll be speaking with you today on their various areas of expertise pertains to this presentation. As promised in the agenda as well, here's a snapshot of our current funders and present contracts. Really carrying over from last quarter as well. You can see really quickly here, the different work that we're doing across the country in Massachusetts, really focusing on positive play and responsible gambling. Not to dive into the kind of meat and potatoes of the presentation here, I'll start with the Q1 data highlights, which also includes our interactions, Gamline and live chat statistics, and our VSE numbers as well. So starting off, we can see here that GSA interactions reached about 20,000, really spiking with RGEM, which is something we really anticipate. There's around 5,500 interactions for July and August this quarter. And then we really saw that spike to hit up to the just about 10,000 or just under 10,000 intensive interactions for RGEM, which includes our exchanges and demonstrations. And we I get really excited about the RGEM. It went really well, but we have a couple slides later on, so I'm going to kind of stay my hand a little bit so Ray can dive more into September. But again, we saw these interactions really increase, and that's really attributed to the RGEM month with the activities we had laid out and significant raffles and just general awareness for the month of September. Moving towards the Gamline calls, so we did see 184 Gamline calls this quarter. Is pretty average for what we've been seeing in the past. Our highest month was July. We had 70 Gamline calls in July. We saw a little bit of a dip in August at 50, and then wrapped up the quarter in September with 64 Gamline calls to kind of round out that time frame. Moving to the live chats, and you can see here we broke down the live chat percentage of what folks are chatting with us about on the websites and chat features that we do have. So there are a total of 319 throughout the quarter. And we do find, and our GSAs will back that up, that most of our live chats on that occur really revolve around VSE. It's folks that have really found, the time that they really need to voluntarily self-exclude, and a lot of those chats turn into enrolling in the VSE program. So over half of the live chats speak about our VSE content and what that looks like for folks. We do get a lot of sports books and reinstatement questions as well from there. And then you see the trickle off to the other couple, the last four speaking points that we get in our live chats here to wrap that out. Really just highlighting the various ways our GSAs are working with patrons and working with individuals that are looking for help, and kind of offering them, again, where they're at, what's their easiest means to talk about these things with us and our staff. Shifting over there into the kind of lower middle, we're looking at VSE and follow-up insights. So we did see a total of 226 VSE enrollments for this quarter. Which is more than last quarter by just a few, but compared to FY25's Q1, it's actually a 32% increase. So we're seeing from, and this was similar to the end of FY25, there's been a pretty significant increase in VSCs total. We saw that of the 226, 105 were gaming only, 20 were sports wagering only, and 101 were both. Also, just to kind of differentiate that 226 in a different view, 105 of the total VSCs were remote VSCs, compared to 121 in person. So we're getting closer to almost an even split there. It's, just slightly off of that. So just good to note for us, again, people are finding us in different ways, being able to interact with us in different ways. And the remote ability to do VSCs has really made an impact for our members and our patrons who really want to enroll in this program. We did complete a total of 21 follow-ups, and I know Jody's here and she'll talk a bit about that as part of her Recovery Month slide as well, which is great. We're seeing a lot more people, interested in kind of getting phone call follow-ups and going through the recovery process of having a peer or a staff member kind of follow up with them after they enroll in the VSC, which kind of gives them that ongoing support. It's not quite a, cold turkey approach, just enrolling and then hands off. We know that folks need a lot more supports to be successful in this program. Along the lines of seeing the increase in total VSCs, we are also seeing an increase in reinstatements, PFRs. So if we're looking at the same, quarter to quarter comparison with FY25 and 26, total PFRs did increase about 30%. So about 2% less than VSCs totaled, but we are seeing, again, that increase in folks coming back after they've served their voluntary term, whichever amount they picked. So that wraps up the Q1 data highlights. I'm going to turn it over to Amy, who's going to talk a bit more about our GSA training program.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? I actually unmuted myself. All right, beautiful. So again, thanks for allowing me to be here as usual to discuss some of my most passionate subjects. This morning, I get the privilege of talking to you a little bit about our GSA training program. This is something I am so glad to be involved in and I'm proud of. Our GameSense advisors certainly complete a very comprehensive, it's really a month, 2 weeks of kind of intensive trainings, but that's followed directly with 2 weeks on the floor at their given casino. That's used to reinforce and put into real live action the stuff that they learned in that first 2 weeks of comprehensive intensive training. And essentially our training is divided into 3 kind of core tiers. The first is core, and really what this is doing is introducing folks, our new folks to GameSense foundations, our core values, player health principles, positive play principles, harm reduction, gambling literacy, problem gambling knowledge and resources, and also all the essential operational and communication skills that will be needed to put them on the floor to successfully do their job as a GSA. So that group essentially is establishing that base proficiency that's needed to be able to go out on that floor and engage as a GSA effectively. Next would be fundamental. And now what we're doing here is basically expanding on all that knowledge that they've learned in the core section of the training. We're going to deepen understanding of gambling behavior, motivations behind gambling, different proven engagement strategies with players. So this is kind of really the crux of not only do you need to know these kind of basic core skills to do this job, but what's going to make you a GameSense advisor? What's the difference here? What makes us different from everybody else as far as how we're approaching players, how we're engaging players, the fundamentals of engaging people effectively. A lot of that is coming in that fundamental section of the training. And then we have advanced. And this is going to offer specialized trainings, more in-depth learning on maybe more complex and relevant areas. A lot of times this is going to include optional webinars, modules for areas of target and desired professional development. So this is giving our folks a chance to develop even further, provides them with potentially a deeper understanding of some of the nuances that can be involved in player health. So it's basically a tier by tier. You have your core, then we're going to build on that, then we're going to give you the opportunity to build on that further. Each of these stages is supported by ongoing evaluation and assessments, potential refreshers, shadowing, coaching, all that is meant to be able to reinforce all that learning, check for retention, with the goal of maintaining our excellence as GSAs. So again, our approach is ensuring that not only are we training GSAs, but we want to continually develop them, empower them, and make sure that they feel confident and comfortable in doing their jobs as GSAs. Next slide, please. So I'm not expecting anybody to read all this. I just wanted to throw up some examples of where these trainings might fall in these 3 tiers. So again, the core GameSense foundations, what guides us? That's player health. That's the positive health, positive play model. That's lower risk gambling guidelines, data, research, the Sigma data. How does that fit in to all the interactions that we want to have with players? Helpline fundamentals, being able to answer calls, being able to answer live chats effectively, understanding PG, understanding recovery and supports, and everything to do with BSE and PFR falls in this category. From just the administrative ways that we need to be able to ensure that GSAs can step on the floor and do that, to how we're doing it, more from an empathic and more from the personal human side of that. So all of these fall in that category. And then as you can see briefly on the fundamental side, now it's not, can we just do this? Are we able to do that BSE? Are we capable of doing these core things that we need for the job? But now it's going to be, how do we want to do it? What are we going to use? What proven methods are we going to use that's going to give us a deeper understanding of motivations and behaviors and how people think and the people that we're talking to and engaging with? So motivational interviewing is huge, a proven way of, guiding folks, not telling folks, but guiding folks to consider, to spark self-motivation, possible self-change, make them understand their possible motivations, understanding brain tricks, understanding cognitive distortions and why people might hold the beliefs that they do or engage in the behaviors they do. Mental health first aid, making sure that we understand how to assess folks that might be struggling with a mental health or addiction condition and how we would then proceed to guide them depending on what that assessment brings. So all of these things here are now building on that core. So not only can we do these things, but how? What does it mean to be an actual GameSense advisor and engage in these ways that we know are empathic, that we know have been proven, to spark change in folks and get them to think about their behaviors and their beliefs. And then advanced, now we're talking about really more detailed, focused trainings that can become available that maybe deal with specific demographics, at-risk groups, making sure that we're offering those modules for folks that want to have some more deeper professional development with more specific topics in the field. So this could look like trainings on co-occurring substance use and gambling, mental health and gambling, the intersection of gambling and domestic violence. So again, these are definitely more targeted, more focused trainings that are offered to GSAs that can help them to get a deeper understanding and have professional development. Next slide, please. Give me 1 second. I am using 2 monitors for the first time in my life, and I'm not going to lie, I'm not very good at it. All right, my last slide, guys, again, just to reinforce, step 1, tier 1, core training, essential for job success. All those, core values and what guides GameSense, as well as all the administrative ways and things that we need to do to be successful. Then the fundamentals, building on that, building on those expertise, really understanding the underlying behaviors, motivations, and using evidence-based proven models and ways to engage players effectively. And then again, those advanced trainings that are offered that are usually optional, they're voluntary, but are given to game sense advisors if they want to continue their professional development. Next slide.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you going over the training content. And now I'm going to pass it over to Ray for VSE specific training as well as our RGEM slides. Right?
Piggyback on Amy's training, we also go deep dive into the voluntary self-exclusion enrollment on VSE. We really love our acronyms here. You might have heard Mike mention PFR, that's a petition for removal when somebody's coming off the list. But we spend a lot of time doing this with the new game sense advisors. They receive 11 hours of training dedicated to conducting and completing these VSEs and PFR with a minimum of 2 hours observation before being able to complete a VSE independently. At the end of their training, there is an evaluation conducted by myself to ensure that the GSA meets the standards of the VSE designated agent. We have an extensive checklist that also the game sense advisor would sign off on, the game sense manager, as well as I do. And at that time, we're going to provide them, when they completed all the steps, this VSE designated agent certificate that will allow them to now be able to conduct these in person or remotely without any supervision. VSE, we find that role playing and practicing during their 2-week shadow period goes a long way to prepare them for every situation that can potentially happen. You got to remember, the person that is enrolling is probably at the lowest point of their life and taking this step to recovery. So the GSA needs to be prepared for anything. Next slide. Here we go into the RGEM, another one of our acronyms, Responsible Gambling Education Month. We love them, those acronyms. So in September, we created 8 different activities to engage with the casino guests and the employees. We engaged with almost 6,500 people. The most popular activity was a slot simulator that our own Amy created. And it was a very simple game, but it's interactive with the players, and they really enjoy that, where she had 3 20-sided dice, with the numbers from 1 to 20 on each one of them. And someone would roll the 3 dice, and then we would have a chart for what the 3 numbers matched up with. Then they would see what they won or lost. This would represent a random number generator that's built into every slot machine. And we would use that to be able to explain the slot machines and how they work and how random they are. So we find this interactive activity, it generates a lot of interest. People like to come over and see what's going on and really want to get involved. We regularly run a monthly raffle every month, to get people to come visit and do an activity. But this RGEM, we stepped it up and really invested into the basket, where we had a Patriots Yeti cooler filled with Patriots items and also a pair of Patriots tickets to an upcoming game. The increased value of the basket brought people to engage with us, where we engaged over 5,100 people, which is double what we normally would get for any other normal month's basket. We also pushed Play My Way enrollments in the month with an incentive for our own GSA staff to get enrollments. So if they met the predetermined goal, they would receive a $25 gift card. And then with every enrollment, we gave a Play My Way fee, which I believe the commissioners also, one of them that we gave to the person. Casinos work with us also to setting up pop-up tables throughout the properties. We could reach people who don't normally come to our centers, and we dedicated over 600 Game Sense hours to doing these 21 pop-up tables. Next slide, please. For the casino employees, we ran pop-up tables near their employee dining rooms to engage with the staff. Yeah, we try to meet people where they're at. And then we offered a tool basket for them to do an activity and enter into that basket raffle. And we also did online question and answer activity, which changed weekly. And this was marketed by their own signage that we had behind the house, you know, in the cafeterias. It was on the tables with a QR code to get into this online activity. And then we randomly picked winners each week to receive a $25 gift card just for entering the activity. All this combined allowed us to engage with over 2,000 casino employees. And we look at the casino's employees' knowledge in the Game Sense program greatly helps us do our job. They are basically the first responders. They see something, they say something, and they know who to call. So they need to make sure that they know everything we're able to do and how we can help a guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. I appreciate you sharing that about RGEM and VSEs and all of our lovely acronyms that we use. Thank you for spelling those out as well. Switching gears, we'll talk a little bit about our Game Sense advisors and highlighting a few of our magic moments, and then I'll turn to the champion award winners at each location. So just want to share, again, a couple of really highlight what our Game Sense advisors do for our patrons. First is our GSA, John, who took a call on the GAM line from an enrollee who had self-excluded recently, but was looking for more support. When John learned the guest hadn't completed the follow-up calls that we had talked about earlier, John explained the process and also shared information about support groups near their zip code. Because we know we have a lot of folks kind of spread out, so we really need to find resources in their location, which is great. The guest was thrilled to receive the help so quickly and thanked John for taking the time to assist. So even just a simple phone call, we can really impact folks and kind of make a difference in their life. Second, we have Anna. So our GSA Anna received a GAM line call from a guest who had just left the casino after a difficult night and wanting to self-exclude, and explained the different VSE options, including how to do it remotely. When the caller said they weren't great with technology, she stayed on the line a little bit longer, walked them through the process step by step. We send out a link for Zoom, we send them the copy of the VSE so they can look it over, and then we walk them through it. So Anna connected with them on the Zoom call, and then the caller kind of opened up and was clearly, more at ease after we're able to kind of give that soft touch to really start the VSE process. Anna's calm and patient approach really helped. The guest was very grateful. She was there for them in the middle of the night, and as Ray said, in kind of a probably low point of their life when they're not feeling really great. And now they're taking that step, right, to get those supports. Third, we have Lori. GSA Lori was at the GSIC counter, so the Game Sense Information Center counter, when a guest approached asking for directions. So we get a lot of these simple interactions when folks are just maybe not even thinking about responsible gambling. Lori took the opportunity to share information about Game Sense and Play My Way. The guest loved the concept of Play My Way and actually came back shortly after with her family group so that they could all sign up together, which is a great moment of connection and education that just stems from something very light as, can you tell me where this or that is in the casino? So I love these stories that really highlight that simple interaction that can kind of grow and take part in, responsible gaming and positive play methods. Switching from our GSAs to our wonderful partners at each location, each casino, we have our Champions Award winners for the quarter. So starting with MGM here, we have Joe Ricasa, who works in sports books. Joe is always quick to greet the GameSense staff with a warm smile and is ready to help with any sportsbook questions. His knowledge makes him a valuable resource, not just for our advisors, but for guests as well. Joe's approachable attitude and willingness to share his experience, his expertise, make him a consistent support and a great partner to our work. Second at MGM, we have Nadamar Oquendo, who works in table games. Nadamar makes sure her players know that GameSense is a resource, especially when they mention playing longer than intended. She knows shows genuine care for player health by encouraging guests to use the support available to them. Her attentiveness and willingness to speak up create a positive environment at the tables and set a strong example of care for the patrons. And thirdly, at MGM, we have David Morin at EVS. David is always there for the GameSense staff and takes pride in keeping the information center clean and welcoming. He regularly stops by to ask if we need anything and never hesitates to lend a hand. David's consistency and positive attitude make a big difference, and his support is always appreciated. I'll take a moment to thank the MGM staff and our champion awardees at that location. Pivoting over to our partners at PPC. First on the board, we have Joanna Kavanaugh of Player Services. Joanna has been a huge help to both advisors and guests by assisting with exclusion-related tax forms and ATM restriction paperwork. She makes a complicated process easier and ensures enrollees feel supported every step of the way. Joanna's knowledge and kindness, along with her willingness to assist the team whenever needed, make her a key partner for GameSense. Second, we have Patty Estella of Player Services. Patty went out of her way to make sure a guest got the support they needed. She discreetly called over a GSA when she noticed a patron was struggling, taking the time to explain the situation while still staying at her post. Patty's respect for the guest and her quick action helped connect them with the right resources and showed true care. And thirdly, at PPC, we have Greg Dicamitis of Security. Greg is always ready to support the GameSense team and works hard to make operations run smoothly. He asks questions, shares knowledge with his team, and helps coordinate around exclusions and events. Greg's openness and collaboration make him a reliable partner and strengthens the connection between security, GameSense, and the Plainridge Park Casino. And again, I just want to take that moment to thank our PPC champion awardees and thank you for the collaboration that you have with us over at that location. Third, we have our EVH partners at Encore Boston Harbor and our 3 award winners here, starting with Kyle Hansen, casino hosts. Kyle is a reliable and knowledgeable resource for guests looking for support with their play. He regularly takes the initiative to walk guests to the GSIC, the information center, so they can learn more about responsible gambling. Kyle also provided his direct contact information so GameSense can reach him after Win Rewards is closed, ensuring guests can still get their questions answered. His commitment to guest service and teamwork with GameSense is truly appreciated. Next, we have Long Nguyen on slots. Long always goes out of his way to support GSAs and patrons alike. Whenever guests have questions about Play My Way messaging on the slots iView, he makes sure they're connected with the GSA right away. He doesn't just stop there. When patrons need guidance with the VSE process, Long personally walks them to the GSIC, showing genuine care and ensuring they feel supported every step of the way. And lastly, to round out our Champions Award winners, we have Ricardo Bernal in receiving. Ricardo has long been a great support to GameSense through his work in receiving. He always takes the time to call about packages, helps transport them with ease, and even assists with bringing larger items directly to our storage room. His reliability and kindness make a real difference in our day-to-day work, and his efforts never go unnoticed. So that wraps up our awards winners. I want to thank our EVH partners and champion awardees. We really couldn't do this work without the collaboration and support of each of the locations, their staff, and really that dedication to supporting our mutual patrons to get support that they need. So you've heard my voice enough. I'm going to pivot this over to Jody, who's going to speak about our Recovery Month in TRS.
Good morning, commissioners. Chair Jordan, good to see you. Good morning, Long and Mark and my colleagues. It is always a privilege to be here. I'm in my 14th year with the council now, and it never gets old. And I always appreciate the commission to support the recovery arm of what we do, because as you saw with the Game Sense advisors, a lot of our work is with relationship building, right? And the Game Sense advisors do an amazing job with that. They've done great on the follow-ups. They give great resources. And, those magic moments, who else does that? We do. So it's sort of amazing. September's a busy month for me. I go around to the peer recovery centers. There's so many of them now that I literally probably would, I don't know, collapse if I tried to get off to 30 or 35 of them in a month. But I get to as many as I can, and as I've often spoken in the past, the message of raising awareness about gambling is so well received. And people turn to me, yeah, that's sports betting. It's sort of, I see ads all the time, so there's all these opportunities to talk about problematic gambling and to highlight the amazing recovery support that voluntary self-exclusion is. So I got out there and saw some people that I knew, some people that I hadn't known, some new faces, but the message never gets old. They always receive it really well. So I love going to the peer recovery centers. And then, you can see the numbers here for those who were referred for a follow-up. Again, kudos to the Game Sense advisors for explaining what that is. And, props to the peer specialists who help with the follow-ups. Again, that is relationship building. You make a connection through a follow-up, and then you offer telephone recovery support, which can turn into a relationship. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 or 4 more calls. Sometimes it's 10 calls. Sometimes people run into each other at GA meetings. Once they get to know each other, you never know. So you can see from the numbers that we had about 35 referred for follow-up, and we completed about 21, which is about our 70% completion rate. And then there were many people who made actual contacts with a peer specialist to talk about what was going on in our life. And, we have our own magic moments of people saying, I was just about to go gambling, and then you texted me, I'm so glad you reached out. It's really an amazing program. And I've been a privilege to see it grow a lot over the last 13 years, going on 14. And, the support of the commission and what you've done to help support recovery when maybe not everybody did in the past is personally very valuable to me. So I thank you for your time and your support. And that's it for me, Michael.
Thank you so much, Jody. I appreciate you speaking to our Recovery Month and our TRS follow-up. Just about wrapping up here. So we have one last slide looking ahead to the second quarter of FY26, if you can believe it. So just a few highlights that we're excited for, starting almost now and going through the next couple months as we head into the holiday season. We'll be doing our third GameRes Positive Play Sportsbook survey and research. So that is very exciting. We'll be partnering there with Dr. Wood again, and just kind of seeing the differences from the last two and kind of gaining a lot more information about positive play and how it impacts Massachusetts patrons. I think just about wrapping up, but ongoing is our Mid-Autumn Moon Festival at EBH. So we have kind of culturally relative slides, and we give out mooncakes for those interested. So it's always a fun time to visit the EBH GSIC. We will also be starting our Gift Responsibly campaign. As mentioned, we head into the holiday season, so we can just kind of spread awareness and make sure folks, have a better understanding of gifting responsibly in Massachusetts. And we are actually onboarding 2 new staff, 2 new Game Sense advisors at Encore Boston Harbor locations. So we're very excited to have them join. They are currently I think, wrapping up their second week of training. I know we just talked all about our trainings. And we'll be going into their shadowing phase in the next 2 weeks. We're very excited for them to join and be part of our team over at EBH. I want to thank you so much for having us and for letting us present to you. Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. This is a great opportunity to see you all again in my second round of these quarterly presentations. And thank you for the team for being here and also sharing your expertise in these matters.
Thank you, Michael. And thank you to Amy and Jody. I play favorites around here. You're one of my favorites. And to everybody else. So we appreciate that. All right, Commissioners, questions on this quarterly report, Commissioner Hill?
Where's my buddy Amy? I know she was just on.
Another favorite. She was up. There she
There
is.
she is.
Amy.
I
So
keep
when
looking at the wrong screen. I got two of them going. I'm so confused.
listen, that's why I'm talking to you right now, because I have 3 screens now. And when they gave me the 3 screens, I'm like, this is gonna be crazy for an old dog learning a new trick.
You
I will
betcha.
tell you, within the next 30 to 60 days, you can't live without the 2 or 3 screens now. So
All
you're
right,
gonna-
I'm gonna talk to you in 60 days. We're gonna see where I'm at.
I can't do without the 3 screens now. My wife
And
said
buddy,
that
don't
would be
worry
the
about them
case.
Celtics. It's early, buddy. We're all right.
Yeah, you got it.
We're all right.
That's all, Mr. Chairman, and great report as always.
Anything else, Commissioners? I hate having multiple screens, but I have them. So that's my comment on that. All right, thank you all, obviously, and always great to those Game Sense Award winners. Congratulations to all those folks who stepped up there. Welcome to all the new members of the team at EBH, and we look forward to working with you. With that, Long, anything else to add?
Well, yes, Chair. I was going to add a couple of things. One, thank you so much, Chair Maynard, taking the time to write the thank you or the congratulatory letters or notes to the champions. It's always a great touch. They always look forward to it. So thank you for taking the time to handwrite those notes. And I don't think it was mentioned, but we talked a lot about the Responsible Gaming Education Month. As soon as that wraps up, we're planning for the next cycle of Palm Gambling Awareness Month in March. So that's something that is also we're actively looking at and reviewing the data of what worked and how do we plan for March. So that's not in this slide, but never a dull moment. The calendar starts as soon as one ends. But great work with the council. They do great work, and there's just a lot there. And I think sometimes it's hard to capture all the activities they do in such a short time.
Do a lot. They do a lot, and we take it for granted that we have such a robust organization to work with here in Massachusetts. But every time I talk to other jurisdictions, I'm reminded by how lucky we are to have this relationship. All right. With that, I believe we're going to turn it to another item. Thank you all. See you, Ray. All right. So Mel, are we going to you? I saw you pop up.
Yes, you are. And I am
All right.
ready.
We'll take item number 5, Counselor.
Okay, good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Before you today is one regulation amendment to 205 CMR 234.09, the term of sports wagering vendor license or registration and renewal. The materials begin on page 59 of your packet. And to provide some context, at the October 9th, 2025 public meeting, the IAB proposed an increase from 3 to 5 years to the initial and renewal terms of sports wagering vendor licenses and registrations. After discussion, Chair Maynard confirmed consensus among commissioners to move forward with this proposal. Today is an initial presentation and request for a vote to begin the promulgation process. As presented in the red line and memorandum, the first change would increase the initial term from 3 to 5 years. The second change would increase the renewal date from the last day of the month on the 3rd anniversary to the last day of the month on the 5th anniversary of the issuance date. Lastly, this amendment is being brought forward with a request for authorization for emergency enactment in order for the regulation to take effect prior to the December 2025 expiration date of the sports wagering vendor licenses. Subsequently, the amendment would be promulgated by the normal process, which many of us are familiar with and includes a public comment period as well as a public hearing. In summary, the goal of the amendment is to allow IEB sufficient time to complete their durable suitability investigations and to align with the license term of sports wagering operators. And if there are any questions or comments, myself and CEC Kramer of the IEB are present. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Commissioners, questions, comments? Commissioner Hill.
Real quick, can you remind me again why the request for an emergency? I think you mentioned it briefly, but.
Absolutely. So the sports, the vendor licenses, the sports wagering vendor licenses, they're set to expire December 2025. So if we are promulgating this by the normal process, we would expect the finalization to occur in January. And so to prevent there any lapse of time and for efficiency and continuity, that is why there's a request for authorization for the emergency.
Understood. Thank you. I knew it was coming up. I just didn't know when.
Time flies when we're having fun, Commissioner Hill.
Yeah.
And just for the public record, when we did discuss, and I'm fine saying this in public, you know, when presented with a decision of whether to truncate the process or go in line with other jurisdictions and with 23K, actually, we're actually going in line with what we did with 23K on the brick and mortar side. I would much rather have a robust process in place for going through these vendors. And I think that was the consensus among the commissioners. And so that's why we're doing what we're doing. And to make sure that we have a robust process and to bring it in line with what we're doing on the other side of the house.
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hill.
I move that the commission approve the small business impact statement and draft of 234.09 as included in the packet and discussed here today, and that the staff be authorized to take the steps necessary to file the required documentation with the Secretary of the Commonwealth by emergency and thereafter to begin the regulation promulgation process. I further move that the staff be authorized to modify chapter or section numbers or titles to file additional regulation sections as reserved or to make any other administrative changes as necessary to execute the regulation promulgation process.
Second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Thank you, CEC Kramer, and thank you, Director Monahan, also for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Commissioners, any commissioner updates?
I have one briefly, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Broder.
So I think it was earlier this week, myself and Commissioner Hill, along with several members of the community mitigation team and our player health team, had the opportunity to attend a briefing at Medford City Hall about the work that the Medford Health Department has done with community mitigation funds to examine the area of young adult gaming, basically that cohort between 18 and 24. Speaking for myself, and I think for everyone, it was money well spent. We learned a tremendous amount and are excited about the follow-up work they're going to do. Interestingly, they talked a lot more than I think we expected, or pointed out some facts that we might not have been aware of about poker playing amongst that cohort. And again, they are very interested and engaged in doing follow-up work based on that initial survey and that they did. And I'm excited to see the rest of their work going forward. I think it's going to be a great help to us.
I think those community mitigation funds have been put to good work. And thank you, Commissioner Hill and Commissioner Broder for serving in that capacity. And I know it's something we're all proud of at the Gaming Commission. Commissioner Hill.
So I would just add that it was a great initiative that the city of Medford put forward. They had a consultant at Omni and they conducted this comprehensive assessment that included dissemination of more than 200 surveys, focus groups, and key informant interviews that were private. the assessment, ensured a diverse range of voices, which included it in this process, with at least 50% of participants being current college students, which was, I think very helpful. The report made it clear the coalition between mental health, addictions, and gambling, which I found to be invaluable. But what did they do with all this information? What did they do next? They actually, the very next day, they created an action plan committee, which involved a whole ton of people, school personnel, including the athletic director, local community leaders, like the Medford Health Department Office of Prevention and Outreach, the Medford Board of Health. I told them how important this issue was for the commission and that they were leaders in the Commonwealth and were, to be congratulated for making this subject a priority. But if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to go to one screen that was given to us, and we're going to forward this to you all if it hasn't already been done. Commissioner Broder brought it up. Young adults who have bet on sports were highly likely to have placed a bet, within the last 30 days. 75% of those that were interviewed had bet on sports online. And Commissioner Broder brought up the poker. The betting on sports in person, 69% of those that were interviewed, I believe, had bet on sports in person. And then the poker, 56%. So it was great information, but they really dug deep, which is what I thought was very important for what they were trying to do. So it was a great report. They're going to do a lot with the information, and I look forward to seeing what their action plan will be once they put it together. And they have said they will forward that plan to us. They were very, very appreciative of the funds that allowed this to happen. And we were all very happy to be there for the release of this report. It was a great job on behalf of the city of Medford.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Thank you, Commissioner Broder. We look forward to seeing that update. Any other business we didn't anticipate? All right. Are we going to adjourn?
So
Move
moved.
to adjourn. Oh, second.
Thank you. Commissioner O'Brien.
Aye.
Commissioner Hill.
Aye.
Commissioner Broder.
Yes.
And I vote yes, 4-0. Everyone enjoy this beautiful Thursday if you're in and around Boston.